Give a big warm welcome to Maria D. Caris.
Thank you. Okay, unlike Jane, who here hates doing laundry? I hate it so much that I made that my talk. I hate dealing with my duvet cover, specifically. I'm sure you've all seen this quote by now. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do my art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. This is the commentary on AI that started everything for me. I shared this last year in a similar talk that I gave with our amazing vendor Rally on their webinar. There's some Rally folks here, and it still holds strong. Believe it or not, as I was writing the last bits of this talk, this is what happened to my janky washer-dryer setup. That's older than me, by the way. It completely shredded my linen sheets because I overstuffed the machine and they got stuck under the agitator. You can see me trying to rip them out here. So hopefully that's not an omen for how the rest of this talk goes. Anyway, back to the existential quote. I think we all want AI to serve us, not reduce us. And for a while, I wasn't sure that that was actually possible. I was definitely sitting in the skeptic territory for a long time. For me, AI is most useful in assisting my thinking in areas where I struggle. So very succinct summaries, tedious tasks, overcoming analysis paralysis. The key is knowing where to deploy it to increase your capacity, rather than letting it replace your thinking entirely. Today, I'm going to give you a 5-step playbook for building your own AI operations assistant so that you can stop fielding the research equivalent of laundry, whatever that means to you. And this is just the direction that I took. My hope is that you are inspired and a little bit more equipped to leave this conference and build something that you've been putting off. I'm sure every single person here has an idea. We obviously don't have robots doing our laundry yet. I think Jane mentioned wanting one to do her dishes. But think about laundry for a metaphor for all kinds of lower value tasks and questions that you might get. I'm Maria. I'm a senior user researcher at Checkr. If you've ever had a background check run on you, that was probably Checkr. Checkr's verification platform powers millions of critical decisions in people's personal and professional lives. I'm not an AI engineer. I'm not a tools team. It's just me and Allison on the research team at Checkr currently. You can see Allison here. In practice, our roles do include research operations, but the primary work that we're responsible for and evaluated on is the strategic research shipped and its outcomes for the company. So not on study setups unblocked for PMs who want to talk to users or tools procured. Allison and I support multiple product lines. We consult for teams across the org. We even field questions from teams at companies that Checkr acquired. And not officially, but just because people know that we exist and know things about talking to users. The questions are genuinely reasonable. How do I set up my first study in Rally? Can you remind me how external participant recruitment works? Do you have any past research on user onboarding? Study help, can you review my research plan? One by one, each is fine, but they never come one by one. We tried office hours, no one came. We built a Slack channel. I missed half the questions unless someone tagged me directly, and it didn't reduce the cognitive load from context switching all day long and getting distracted from our work. Allison and I love helping, but we got drained by the repetition of onboarding people to tools, keeping incentives budgets topped up so that design can pay participants when the two of us are on PTO. For our combined skills and expertise, that's laundry, not art. We have a pretty complex tool stack. We use components of different tools for different things. and it's just hard for people to navigate without our guidance. Add in that we hold a lot of context in our heads about past research, policies, processes, preferences. That's not a system, that's a major dependency. So I designed and deployed the user research operations brain, an AI assistant that answers operational questions to help product managers, designers, marketers, and honestly even myself get unblocked when starting and running user research. You can see here that Sophie, a product manager, asked a question about how to create a survey in Rally, again, our amazing participant management tool, and the AI successfully gave her step-by-step instructions to unblock her. The most disarming thing that I can tell you is that building this took half a day, max. Writing this talk took me way more time. Training it, watching it, adjusting it on a monthly basis is definitely required, and I honestly don't spend a lot of time doing that, but the initial setup was half a day. Here's how I think about our user research operations assistant. 3 main requirements: a no-code agent layer, our knowledge, and it being deployed to the right channels. This is the washing machine for all of that laundry we talked about earlier. First, you'll need a no-code tool that wraps a large language model and connects your company documents and lets you write instructions for how it should behave, like I did here. Checkr uses Creedle AI for this purpose, but other similar enterprise-ready options include Glean, Guru, Albus, Easel AI, and many more to pop up, I'm sure. The prompt gives it a role, a goal, a format, and a failure mode. The failure mode is the most important line. Say you don't have enough information instead of making things up, because without it, the model will guess. Recently, I actually had a situation where an AI chat within a Claude project made up flow funnel metric data. That's because it didn't have a failure mode built in. I wasn't using the tool correctly. When I pressed Claude for its sources, it literally said after this, that's exactly the kind of thing that gets embarrassing when a director looks at the doc and asks where the data came from. OK, Claude. Creedle's agents are great because you're able to choose whatever AI model works best for your tasks. So for us, that's currently Claude Sonnet 4.6. It has strong reasoning against policies and processes, speed, context window, accuracy, all things that matter for this purpose. More intense models like GPT-5.5 Pro, Claude Opus 4.7 are overkill for an assistant like the one that I just built. Not to mention expensive. They're better suited for deep analytical or long horizon agentic tasks. When evaluating models, it's a good practice to test 10 or more sample questions. Some might say like 100, but I'm not doing that. Across 3 to 5 models and grade on 3 things: accuracy, hallucination, latency. Creedle actually allows you to create a rubric and compare models in the evaluate section of its tool. Their team is actually working on ways to make this more hands-off going forward as well. Models change fast, as we all know. There's like a new one every week. So always run your own tests. Now you need to build its context. So this includes help center articles, the process docs, the tool guides, anything you would send someone if they asked you a question, or anything you would reference yourself. That's your training data. It already exists. You just need it in the form that the agent can read. My assistant searches indexed articles for the most semantically relevant information, and only the top matching pieces get passed to the LLM. So instead of keyword matching, it understands what you mean. So how long should my study be finds the same content as recommended session duration. I pinned the most critical docs, such as our user research governance at Checkr doc, so that they're always prioritized. The help centers for our primary tools, including Rally CRM and user testing, are web crawled, so they stay up to date somewhat automatically. I keep web search off, and I keep my sources tight, because too many, and the model starts getting confused about what to prioritize. By using an AI agent platform like Creedle with my documentation as inputs, I can reduce hallucination and keep our information up to date without retraining the model. Your third main requirement is the right channel, so deployed where your stakeholders already are. For us, that's Slack, Cloud Enterprise, etc. Not a new tool that people need to learn, the one that they already have open. You can see the bot in the wild here. Shane, a product designer at Checkr, actually from one of the companies that Checkr acquired, asked what external recruitment would cost for his study in our research support Slack channel. I don't have those numbers memorized. The bot pulled them from our help docs, knew to pull the respondent numbers, and then did the math based on the context in his question. That really helped me not get distracted from the strategic research that I was focused on. Once you have your knowledge base built, you can really transfer it to wherever your team is working. Creedle's MCP servers also let me take everything I've built in Creedle, so my governed data, my tools, assistants, and bring it directly to where Checkr's team already works. So I added my ops assistant to an MCP server. If you're not familiar with MCP servers, they let you connect AI to external tools like email and Slack so that it can access data from sources outside the model or take actions like responding to an email. My company is using Cloud Enterprise, so in the spirit of living where people are already working and asking questions, an AI solutions engineer helped me add the user research ops MCP connector to Claude. It took like 2 minutes, he just had to approve it. If you're familiar with Claude skills, you can also leverage that to encourage the AI to use your MCP when it should. Checkr has many org-wide skills governing how the AI behaves within Claude. We even built a data governance skill after my data mishap that I showed you earlier, where it just made up the funnel metric data. That tells the model now to never fabricate data, and it's deployed across our organization. OK, so tools aside, this is the 5-step playbook that I actually want you to take home. Because we're all using different tools. You're going to use different tools at your companies to make this happen. Write it down, screenshot it, steal it. That's the point. Before you build anything, identify the specific repetitive questions that are eating your time. Not, I get a lot of questions. Get specific. How do I recruit external users for my study? Or what interviews does the research team have coming up? Those are your training inputs. The second step is to scope it small. So one assistant, one problem, one channel, keep it boring. There's a reason that the assistant I showed you is not also our research repository. Every AI project I've seen fail to this point, or just kind of go nowhere, has had too broad of a scope and too fuzzy of a return on investment. And that stops people from getting started, too. The third step of the playbook is to gather your knowledge. So gather your help docs, your process notes, your tool guides. Keep it tight, because too many sources confuses the model. Here's a picture of that janky washer again. Rest in peace. Don't tell my landlord, but I'm pretty sure it broke. It finally broke because I overstuffed the machine with my sheets. So don't do that here either. The fourth step of the playbook is to write a type prompt. So role, goal, format, failure mode. The failure mode is the most important line. Say you don't know, don't guess. That single instruction eliminates most hallucination. And you do have to bully the AI a little bit. The fifth step is to treat it like a product. Run sample questions before you launch. Enable thumbs up, thumbs down training in Slack. Revisit it every few weeks. It gets better, but only if you tend to it. So what about the art and writing? Here's the reframe I keep coming back to. My craft is strategic research, which means discovering new things about the world and the people who use our products. Being good at this means that I lead with empathy to find out what needs to be known, understand it, get it to the right people, and influence next steps. That's the artistry of what I do. Not folding laundry for other people. At the end of the year, I will not be reviewed on how many Rally study setups I unblocked, or unfortunately, even how many cool AI things I made. You and I will be reviewed on the strategic research we shipped, what roadmap items we influenced, what the business did differently because of our work. Everything else is a big fat distraction. Deploy AI where it matters. Again, I am not technical. I'm a researcher who had a problem, found a tool that fit, and spent half a day building a solution. If I can do it, you can do it. I would genuinely love to hear what you build. Find me on LinkedIn or here at the conference. I'm more than happy to chat. Thanks.
Thank you. I think we have time for one question. I see a hand right here. One question.
Very good.
Here.
Hi, thank you so much for that talk. I'm Sabrina. I'm a researcher at Lyft. I love how you used an AI agent to kind of deflect all of those questions that were distracting you. But sometimes I find when a stakeholder comes to me in Slack and asks me, do we have research about X? It allows me to probe them, why are you asking that? And sometimes it allows you to stop bad decisions being made or someone going down the wrong path. So my question for you is, how do you make sure that you still have those moments of spontaneous collaboration that allow you to be strategic in your work?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. This isn't replacing all of the questions that I get in its entirety, right? Like, as I mentioned, I use this agent myself sometimes to help answer a question in a more effective, structured format that's coming to me direct in Slack and not in the research support channel. I think it's I've definitely, when I've seen these questions come through, I let the agent do its work, but sometimes I do intervene to kind of ask the PM, what are you, out of curiosity, running a study on? I would love to find out more. So I think it's still making room for collaboration, but giving you kind of a supportive framework to help answer the questions better and faster. And so that's kind of more what I was trying to demo. The use case is fine, but really it's about building things that support your ability to handle so many things that are coming at you at once, and finding AI-assisted ways to do that, especially in the time that we're being encouraged to build, because it's really about learning the tools and seeing what's available to you, and just coming in with that product mindset. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you.
Yay, let's give another big hand to Maria.